Good afternoon, everybody, from wherever in the country or indeed in the world that you're watching. It's lovely to be with you. How familiar we are getting with this screen world that we all find ourselves in at the moment. And because I am the first speaker, I get to say, what unprecedented times. It is strange. These are just strange worlds. But I think what we're noticing the most in the UK as 9 weeks of lockdown carries on, and we genuinely don't know when this is going to end, is that the coronavirus crisis has affected all of us deeply and significantly, but it hasn't affected all of us in the same ways. So for many of us, we find ourselves isolated, we can't get out, we can't see our friends or our loved ones. Some of us are frustratingly underemployed, we can't go to work, we're facing economic hardship. For others of us, it is a deeply difficult time and a cruel time with suffering and grief and loss being experienced amongst our communities. And for others of us, juggling work and kids and homeschooling and other commitments, it is overwhelmingly busy. But what we are seeing is across the UK, the church is being incredibly innovative and is stepping up and into the challenges that we're facing. I work for the Evangelical Alliance. We have thousands of church members, tens of thousands of individual members. We're supporting charities and organisations and businesses across the UK. And we've had the privilege of speaking directly to all of our church and charity members, asking them to tell us what it's like on the ground. And what we're hearing is just how much the church is reimagining what it can do, from toddler groups on Zoom to prayer meetings that are seeing tenfold increases of attendance, online services, sermon transcripts being posted through letterboxes, dial-in services so you can phone in and hear the recording if you haven't got internet. Drive-in church is being released in Northern Ireland to be able to gather and meet. I don't even know how a drive-in church works, but great. We are seeing such amazing things the church does. We are the church, but we are having to reimagine what that looks like, what that feels like, how we bring salt and light and hope to our nations. We're seeing the church do its job. We're seeing volunteering increase. We're seeing food banks meet the challenges of when the majority of their volunteering force is then forced into self-isolation. The rest of the church step up and step out to meet those needs. We're seeing entrepreneur support groups where 100% of people's incomes has suddenly fallen through the floor. We're seeing normal competitors open up prayer and support groups so that they can pray with each other, cheer each other on, and support each other in this time. We're seeing law firms reimagine what it means to bring value and goodness and inspiration to the people that they're serving and their clients. We're seeing the churches open at this time, and it is deeply, deeply encouraging. We're also seeing just how needed the church is. Roger will speak more about this, I am sure, but what we are hearing is just how crucial the church is to serving the needs of our communities, of our neighbourhoods, and of society as a whole. We've seen a Tear Fund survey indicate that there has been a 5-fold increase in the numbers of people who are attending churches online than they would normally do when it's in physical spaces. And the majority of those people attending online services are aged between 16 and 25. These are amazing, amazing statistics. We're seeing prayer groups spike. We're seeing people who have never prayed. 1 in 4 people who have never prayed before are now praying. Google are tracking spikes in people searching for Jesus. Normally, Jesus gets a bit of a spike at Christmas. It does not normally get a bit of a spike in the middle of April. People are asking deep and fundamental questions. This is a moment where people realize that the the illusion that they have of control, of independence, that they can meet their own needs. There's a bit of a reality check happening, and there is a deep hunger. We're seeing Alpha Online explode. We're seeing people meet out, pray with, see miracles, see wonders happening in their neighborhoods. This is a time of great openness to the gospel, and it's really encouraging. So we may be closed, our buildings may not be able to be opened at this moment, but we are not just a gathered church, we are a scattered church. And I think in this moment, we are learning what that looks like. Also, aided by this, by the fact that it certainly seems like the cultural narrative has shifted somewhat. I work for the Evangelical Alliance, which means that a lot of the time I am asked questions about our moral stand, what we think about certain moral issues, and are we against this or for that? Those questions are just not on people's minds right now. We're being asked, how do we help? We're being asked what it looks like for the church to show love and compassion and hope when people are in crisis. And what we do know is that when lockdown does shift and when we are able to meet again, that will not be the end of this crisis. The tail of this thing is going to be significant and it is going to be long. We don't know what's coming, but we do know a God who does. This coronavirus crisis may have caught all of us by surprise, but God knows. And he is not caught on the hop with this. So we can prepare and we can pray. We can prepare our communities. We can prepare our own discipleship. We can dig into the truths that we see in the Bible, the truths that we see within the church, the truths of the history of our brothers and sisters around the world who have lived this kind of difficulty and challenge for the church, so that the church is prepared, the church is able, and the church is equipped to bring the transformative power of the gospel to individuals' lives, to the lives of the communities, and to society as a whole. We need to extend our prophetic imagination of what church can and should look like as we move forward, because the one thing we probably do know at this stage is that we are not going back to normal. Normal has gone, normal has changed. So what is coming next is something for us to pray into, to seek wisdom around the church and around the globe, so that we are equipped for the mission that we have been given and the mission that we're stepping into.